Shalom, jó napot kívánok, dobrý deň, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and privilege to be here today and to be the recipient of this high award. As we approach soon the 25th anniversary of those iconic Malay flights, I cannot help but recall the very first time I met and briefed the operation of this project with the airline's management. To put it crudely, the CEO and the people around him, they presented this enterprise as nothing more than a shrewd business opportunity, a way to tap some much-needed hard currency at a time of a great economic hardship. Before you judge the airline's motives disrespectful, please bear in mind that at the time our economy was struggling with a huge debt burden, the legacy of many decades of unsustainable goulash communism. Boy, did we need that money. As an aside, the current national debt at circa 80% of the GDP is on par with 89, but please note one very important difference. Back then, 4/5 of the debt was covered by collateral in the form of state-owned assets. Today, that ratio stands at less than 1/5. During the course of '89, these flights took on a political dimension when the Islamic Jihad for the liberation of Palestine began to issue threats against the Malay and my government. Indeed, by March 1990, the threats had become so targeted that the airline CEO decided to stop all flights to Israel. Suddenly we found ourselves at a crossroads. We could either break earlier promises, thereby revealing ourselves to be unprincipled and motivated only by money, or we could do the honorable thing, face down those threats and restart the flights. As today's ceremony testifies, in the end, the Hungarian people showed that they were firmly on the side of freedom and moral integrity. The lion's share of the credit for the resumption of the flights must go to Mr. Fazekas, who assumed leadership of Malay on 31st of March 1990. That night, Maron was recalling. Sadly, Mr. Fazekas passed away last year. We must also express our deepest gratitude to the brave crews who flew those historic flights. Last but not least, we must acknowledge the vital, behind-the-scenes efforts of my late friend, Leslie Keller. Compared to the courage and contribution of these men and women, my personal role was relatively minor. All I did was dismiss Malay's reluctant CEO and replace him with Mr. Fazekas. Please permit me one final closing remark. Over the past few years, Hungary has witnessed the alarming and shameful re-emergence of anti-Semitism, racism towards the Roma minority, chauvinism, and know-it-allism. As a former public servant, it is my sincere hope that the current crop of politicians will find the resolve to confront this growing menace head-on. If they fail, I am fearful that this country will once again face a bleak and uncertain future. Indeed, one might be forgiven for interpreting the demise of Malev, an airline with a proud history spanning 66 years, as a bad omen. Having said that, I remain hopeful, and I will do everything on my part that, like on so many occasions in the past, common sense and decency will prevail, and that we will find democratic and long-lasting solutions to the many challenges we face. Thank you for your time and the recognition.